What's up, y'all? We about to get started. We about to get started like 1 minute. Assholes. Got these tethers over here crying about Kendrick. Lame ass niggas in our music. See, this is what happens when Ice Cube warned us his day was coming. When Ice Cube said in Death Certificate, giving our music away to the mainstream. Don't you know that they ain't down for the team? They just sent they boss over, put a bug in your ear, and now you crossed over. But they don't care. They'll have a new nigga next year. Pretty soon, hip-hop won't be so nice. No Ice Cubes, just Vanilla Ice. And that's what we got going on right now. When I started listening to hip-hop in the early 90s, late 80s, really late 80s, there was a resistance to going mainstream because there was a correlation between mainstream and corny. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and DJ Jazzy Jeff getting some of the earliest awards in hip-hop made them a corny-ass group. Because the only people that white folks is going to award is corniness. That was the prevailing thought in hip-hop up until the mid-90s. Going corny was going mainstream was corny. Now when you listening to Ebro, academics, and these guys in this Drake and this story I'm about to get into, we see the end result as to why Too Short, Cube, amongst others, was calling out the mainstream getting access to hip-hop. They did not want it devolving to where it is right now. So we're going to talk about all that. But before I start talk about it, what's up, chat room? Thank y'all for joining. If you have any issues with what I'm saying, mods, if people have issues, don't kick them out. Let them stay around and tell them to call in. If it gets really bad, because I want to talk for a little while before I take calls. But if it gets really bad, mods and people in the chat room, tell these people to call in if they have an issue with what I'm saying. We will allow people to have an issue, but they have to call in if you have an issue with what I'm saying, all right? Call in and speak to me. I'm a nice guy. If you have an issue with what I'm saying. So we're going to get into it. What's up, chat room? Before we get all into it, somebody calling me. I ain't gonna answer that. Before we get into it, today, I forgot to mention this yesterday. Today on Patreon, I'm releasing my interview with Val Young. For those you don't know, Val Young was a singer starting with the Gap Band, Parliament Funkadelic. She was with the Gap Band, Parliament Funkadelic. Uh, shit. I'm going down. Rick James. She sang so much on the Death Row, on a lot of Death Row hits. Doggy Land, To Live and Die in L.A. She was and still is one of the greatest singers of all time. Sang the first lady of hip hop and funk. We will have her on today at 4 p.m. So join Patreon, get on the live interview lounge tier if you want to be a part of my live interview today. The live reaction, because it's a pre-recorded interview, but I'm live and I will be taking questions from the people on that tier. So if you're on the tier that can ask questions, please make sure y'all submit those questions to me. And that'll be coming up, all right? And if you're on the other tiers of Patreon, you will get it after the live is over with. If you're on the other tier, on the lower. But if you're on the live interview lounge and up, you'll be a part of the live. So we can talk about it and do my reaction to it, all right? That is today at 4 p.m. All right? And today is a Six of Clubs day. Six of Clubs means balance your mind out with how you feel, slow down, and be slow to make decisions today. Don't rush, don't rush, don't rush. Relax, be calm, be cool. It's a Six of Clubs day. That means be reasonable, be practical. So make sure that you're being practical with every decision that you make today, all right? And my class I'm going to have that class for sale sometime this week. Join the email for those of you who want to be a part of my IEP class. I'll announce that through email when it's released, all right? But thank y'all again for listening, for being here. Hell yeah, Val Young is really underrated. So very much so underrated. We will be in 4 hours, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Patreon, live interview lounge. We are going to play the interview of Val Young, all right? Again, so let's get into it. I'm gonna play the video of I'm gonna play the video before I all into it. This quick news, this quick news. LAPD is gonna they set a trial date to begin the SWAT mafia trial. For those of you who don't know, if you're in LA, there is a mafia allegedly within the LAPD SWAT teams. That's basically a glorified kill squad. Back in 2017, a member from this alleged mafia shot a perpetrator from the helicopter, sniper style. Yes, that's how they get down in LA. They sniping niggas from helicopters. You dig? So this is going to be a case that I watch out for, that I pay attention to, that as this trial goes on, as we talk about as more news of this comes out, you can expect me to keep y'all up to date as to what's going on with it. All right? Cool. So let's oh yeah, and also rest in peace to my cousin Sam, man. Man, I gotta get these interviews in more. I never got around to recording him on interview, man. He passed away. My cousin Sam was one of the first LAPD officers after the Watts riots here in 1966. A lot of what I know about LA history, gang history, and all these gangs within the police department comes from my cousin Sam. He was a cop. He worked at LAPD from 1967 to 1987. and he was there. Remember I told y'all that story about how y'all have heard me talk about him before. My interview with Judge Joe Brown, I talked about him. Judge Joe Brown corroborated some of the things my cousin Sam told me years ago. And now LA, after the Watts riots in 1966, they hired a bunch of black police officers, and there were 0 murders in Watts from the end of 67 to the end of 69. Over a year and a half, there was only 1 murder in all of South Central LA. Crime was virtually at 0 in South Central LA. Why? Because they brought in a whole bunch of black people to police. They gave, Judge Joe Brown talks about it, UCLA, they started bringing in resources for people to go to college, get jobs. And when South Central LA was full of resources and they had black police officers patrolling them, it was a city without crime. And it goes to show you that when black people are minimally resourced, we do fine. We don't commit crimes. And my cousin Sam was one of the beat officers that was in Watts, California during that time. And talked to me about how when the 70s came and the war on drugs started and they started bringing in those Nixon drugs, that's when the crime started to come back. But yeah, and this is another thing I know about, like going back to that SWAT team right there. My cousin Sam was almost killed by the LAPD in 1977, according to his testimony, when he was a whistleblower on a white cop harassing somebody and planting some evidence and doing something illegal. He just told the truth. He didn't necessarily was a whistleblower. He was asked and he told the truth. And him being telling the truth got the LAPD, according to my cousin's testimony, in 1977 at an apartment building in the jungles. They made a call and they were supposed to go inside of one of the units, and my cousin Sam was supposed to go in there with them. But he said his instincts told him not to go, and he didn't. He stayed outside and didn't go in. Then the other officers came back and said, with like a real angry look on their face, and said, "Oh, it didn't happen." Come to find out, a week later, one of the other white officers that was part of that pulled my cousin Sam to the side and was like, "Yeah, you were supposed to go in that building, and yeah, we were going to kill you." This is my cousin's testimony, who I trust, who just passed away, and in the jungles. And after that moment, after he blew that whistle, they never promoted him. They never allowed him to transfer. He had to be a beat cop and serve out his final 10 years to get his retirement. But these were stories I heard in my household growing up when I was, a teenager, from family members that, I hear. So understand a lot of what I talk about when I'm talking about this history stuff, when I'm talking about a lot of the stuff. A lot of what I say is firsthand accounts from people who were there. Same thing with the music. This story is crazy. It's real. And unless you understand the environment a group of people are in, you'll never understand why they act the way they're acting. So, but again, rest in peace to my cousin Sam, man. That's shit. Rest in peace. I wish I, got an interview more than that. Just wish I got to say bye one more time. So make sure that y'all say what's up to your people who are living. All right. All right. So let's get into it. I'm going to that. This is the video that we're talking about right here. I want y'all to, I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to play this video all the way through, and then we're going to break it down line by line, all right? But first, I want to play it all the way through so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And this is fair use, all right, y'all? Fair motherfucking use.
I think it's changed.
Real quick, this is this dude here, let me set it up. Skepta is a rapper out of the UK. And he's talking about Kendrick and the Drake beef. And he's saying that, well, you'll hear what he's saying. But basically he's talking about the Kendrick and the Drake beef on with Ebro.
I think it's changed. Like, and probably this battle, what I just saw is probably what is hit the nail on the head for me, where it's like, when stuff gets said like that now, today, it's more personal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's something about...
There was a lot of lying on there. There was a lot of lying. People was just saying...
There was one...
Shit. They was just saying shit.
There was one K-Dot diss track that came out, and I was like, oh, this is over. Like, this isn't rap. This isn't a rap diss and clashing anymore.
No, they don't like each other.
This is over. Like, they don't like each other. It's clear. I can hear it. Like, I can hear it in his voice. He doesn't like Drake. When it sounded like you two just really want to see each other and do each other something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like that would hit him up. And I even said the same shit, when Pusha T and Drake was doing their thing and he said the shit about 40. I was like, nah, I don't like that. I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit. But then there's people who are like, nah. Then you see like the battles, the URLs and all that type of shit, and you're like, whoa. It goes far.
Okay.
Maybe you know what? It's age.
No.
It ain't age.
No. We're gonna hit it though, Ebro.
It's culture.
Even if they cut the cameras off, we're gonna figure this out. Do you know what I think it is?
Huh?
Because they are in positions where they are both
the biggest.
They are both really big, yeah. Have major deals, major cahoots with major companies, right? Talking to each other like this is looking crazy. Like
that's a good point.
You're calling him a word, but this guy's signed to thing. So now how can they sign a man that is being accused of this thing? So now the things that when I was clashing in grime, we never had nothing to lose. There you go. This is where I'm landing now. So when we're saying things to each other, you could call me anything in the world. I'm not gonna lose a Nike deal.
Right.
I'm not gonna not be able to put food in. That'd probably even get me more money because we'll go to the show and do the clash on the stage, and more people are paying and rivalry. You know what I'm saying? So
the version they was doing was hurting.
It's hurting what we've built. It's hurting what we've all built this whole time. Like you two, man. If you don't like each other, just link up and speak and just talk to each other, or don't speak to each other But all this stuff you're saying to each other, for the rest of everyone else who is waiting in line for the doors that you've kicked open, these doors are shutting on us right now, bro. We're looking crazy out here. That's why I didn't like that. It was good until they started sounding so like it just sounded crazy, bro.
Skepta, man, I appreciate you.
See, we're going to break it down line by line, but let's just start here. This is, what we hear here is a culture clash. What we have here is a culture clash. You have people who are not purely Black American speaking on a pure Black American culture. I understand Ebro has a Black father. I understand that. Jewish mom. Ebro was hired like the rest of these guys. If you notice the people that are in radio, the people who lasted in radio throughout the 90s and the 2000s are the people who are watered down. And they represent the industry more than they represent the culture. Ebro is not of the culture all the way. He's And before I get you mixed niggas coming around talking about we can't be from the culture, look, all right? Your words and your actions dictate how deep you are ingrained in it by how you move. But no, those of us who got 4 grandparents, 8 great-grandparents, 16 great-great-grandparents, 32 great-great-great-grandparents, 64 great-great-great-great-great-grandparents, born here on the soil, we have a slightly different understanding of the culture than the people who went to synagogue on Sunday. All right? It's just a difference. And acknowledge it or don't acknowledge it. I don't give a fuck how you feel about it. It is what it is. I'm tired of those of us who are completely from the culture being ostracized and marginalized. Well, people say I'm not all the way black. Well, goddamn it, you play both lines when it's convenient. So yeah, get your ass over there. All that shit you was talking about supporting Drake, that might be because y'all both got the same common lifestyle. Oakland daddy or a black daddy, Jewish mama. Slightly different culture than mine. Slightly. And I don't apologize for saying that. Because you got a mom in a whole world that you can go into that I can't. And if that side of the world don't accept you, don't get mad at me. Blame your mama for procreating with somebody who looked like me. That still ain't my problem. People like, man, but I can't be all the way white. Can't be a tough titty. I don't get the advantage of being able to get the front door to a job because of the bloodline my mom comes from. So it's tough titty on me when it comes to that. You're grown. And as far as the UK guy, what the fuck is you even talking for? Why are you even talking? We don't even respect UK rap. Y'all regular voices is too. No, another you don't respect. What the fuck is that? Only people like that shit is y'all. Get that flavorless rap out of here. Hip not. Get that shit out of here. Nigga, that shit ain't rap, it's crap. You don't even relate to us over here. Y'all got some other shit going on in the UK, which is dope. But we don't relate to what y'all going through in the UK. Yeah, racism, yada, yada, yada. But in the UK, your parents immigrated there, so that's their fault for going and not building up their country. We didn't go nowhere we didn't have to travel anywhere to receive what we deal with. That shit is homegrown from a place that we built here. So we different. And let me tell y'all something about us culturally, one area that we're different. What's the rule in Black America? And God damn it, I ain't got no fucking water. What's the rule in Black America? Don't start none, won't be none, right? Drake started it. In Black America and in our culture, in our music, if somebody starts something and we go there, guess what? We're going there. And within the culture, we understand. That's why Kendrick threw that warning out. Don't tell lies about me, and I won't tell truths about you. Kendrick followed Black American protocol. And this is hip hop created by us. So we dictate the rules as to how this shit goes. It ain't our fault that you niggas don't study our culture. Y'all think that we just a whole bunch of monkeys that go around rapping and playing basketball all day and don't understand the intricacies of how our culture works. We have strong cultural nuances as a people. All right? And it's not our job to teach you. It's your job to learn. And one of our cultural nuances as a people is don't start none, won't be none. And if somebody tell you to stop, nigga, stop. Because when we go, we go. Oh, Max, how you say Ebro's pop is African? I didn't know that. Chat room, verify. Is that true? Ebro's pop is African? Yeah, he really ain't got no business talking to us about anything. Just the way he's talking in his interview shows that he doesn't understand the culture. Y'all like to come and copycat off the expressions of our culture without understanding the nuances of our culture. So let's go back and break this bullshit down line by line. Let's break this down line by line, all right?
I think it's changed, and probably this battle, what I just saw, is probably what is hit the nail on the head for me. Where it's like, when stuff gets said like that now today, it's more personal. Yeah. I think there's something about.
There was a lot of lying on it. There was a lot of lying. People was just saying.
There was one.
Shit. They was just saying shit.
There was one K-Dot.
He said lots of lying. Lots of lying. Ebro, it's music. It's not lying, it's talking shit. One of the marks of Black American culture is culturally, we're very expressive. And the Black American style of communication is figurative speech. So let me give you an example of how your granddaddy used to talk. What would your granddaddy say? We walked 17 miles to get water out the watering hole. My grandmother could stay on time. I had to go 17 miles. He really had to walk to the end of the block. But carrying water from the house to the end of the block is a very hard and arduous task. So instead of saying carrying water from my house to the end of the block was a very arduous task that made me walk 3 times slower than usual because the amount of the water in the bucket was really heavy. We cut out all that work by saying, nigga, I had to walk 17 miles to get that water. Chat room, am I lying? Y'all Black in here? Press number 1 if I'm preaching and hit the Cash App. Let me know if I'm on to something here. We as a people, we're very colorful. We exaggerate, but in the exaggeration is the meat of the story. That's one. So when it comes to art, when it comes to writing music, you're not doing music to be. Music isn't a science project to where you got to be. I got to be right here. No, you're expressive. So 1 is not lying. 2 is expression. Number 3, what lies were told? Exaggerations are told, like going back to Ether. I remember Nas talking about him being on the block. I'm like, hold on, Nas, you younger than Jay-Z. If you was on the block, I remember I forgot that line. But I'm thinking like, nigga, you would have had to be 10 years old to do what you was talking about when these gangsters. That did not happen. Every song got some shit that's gonna make some shit up. Every song do, whether it's a rap song, a battle song, a blues song. We a shit-talking culture. The whole point is if you don't want to get involved in the mess, don't start none, won't be none. So these are cultural nuances that did not start with the Kendrick beef and battle. 4th, those stories about Drake being a pedophile, bruh. The story's been around. Well, I hate like niggas like and this UK dude, y'all, they playing stupid like we ain't been hearing these stories since 2014. That white girl that was 14 that Drake was texting back and forth, talking to that 14-year-old girl a couple years ago. Y'all remember the little white girl name? About her relationships with boys. Who the fuck talks to a 14-year-old about that? Yeah, Robbie said the Beatles talk about flying to the moon and they weren't astronauts. Right. Yep. we be putting 10 on the 2. You damn right we do. That's just part of our culture. Me and Millie Bobby Brown, her. So, going back to what you said earlier in the chat, Pepper Jack, we be putting 10 on 2. Yeah, we hear a story about you, Drake, texting a 14-year-old girl about boys. That's pedophilic style behavior. So if we're in a battle, yeah, I'm going to call you a fucking pedophile. Why? Because you a grown-ass man in your 30s texting a 14-year-old girl about boys, according to your own testimony. Not a myth, not some rumor. You said, she said it. Oh, Drake texts me about boys. He's just asking me about my boyfriends. That's where this comes from. That's where this comes from. Oh, Drake texts me about boys. Let me see if I can find that clip. Oh, yeah, here it is. I'll find a clip from, this is from my post. I made this edit. This is my edit on Twitter.
She then revealed what kind of advice Drake gives her.
About boys. He helps me.
What?
Yeah. He's great. He's wonderful. I love
that part right there. 14-year-old, the girl's 14. So going back to black people's, our cultural norms of putting 10 on 2, does Kendrick know for 100% sure if Drake is a pedo? I'm sure probably not. Only people who know is Drake and the little girls he touched. I'm sure. But if you get yourself in a battle and these are the things that come out about you, we're not in that battle when things are going good, we gonna find some shit that's weird and put 10 on 2. That's just what it is. If you don't like it, Ebro, British nigga, you guy, you whatever your name is, get the fuck out the culture. You got your own British black culture. Ebro, you got your own small hat / African culture that you can fuck with. That if I was to say something about your mama's lineage, how long would that go in their music? So this is what we dealing with as far as black folks, our culture being under attack. These are the people who have the voice and been given the power to have the voice of our culture. People, one person from that's not from our culture, interviewing somebody that's not from our culture, being reported on by academics, another bastard not from our culture. And that's why all this shit is just flat out wrong and stupid sounding. Let's keep going.
This track that came out, I was like, oh, this is over. Like, this isn't rap. This isn't a rap. This ain't clashing anymore.
No, they don't like each other.
This is over. Like, they don't like each other. It's clear. I can hear it. Like, I can hear it in his voice. He doesn't like Drake.
So what? Guess what, British nigga? People don't get along. And that's also what music is about. Music is an expression of all forms of human emotion. The positive, the negative, the kind, the mean, the get along, the not getting along. He didn't advocate for violence. Now, if it's an issue where it's okay, two people don't get along and they're using music for one person to harm another person physically or their family, then okay, we might probably start talking. But ain't nobody talking about harming nobody. They just don't like each other. And one thing about us culturally as black people, when we don't like you, we gonna say something. We ain't gotta like you. Nobody has to like you. Let's get back to what this Lennox Lewis sounding nigga's talking about.
When it sounded like you two just really want to see each other and do each other something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like that with Hit 'Em Up. And I even said the same shit, you know, when Pusha T and Drake was doing their thing and he said the shit about 40. I was like, nah, I don't like that. I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit. But
don't Ebro got a beard like Larry? Oh, Larry, you in the chat. I think Ebro would knock your ass out, nigga. I think that's one thing. Ebro acting weak, but I think Larry weaker. So yeah. Ebro will slap the shit out you, Larry, and say his beard is tougher and you can't do nothing about it because you're weak.
Then there's people who are like, nah. Then you see like the battles, the URLs and all that type of shit, and you're like, whoa. It goes far.
Okay.
Maybe you know what? It's age.
No. We're gonna
look at this. Ebro says it's age. Let's go back to this part.
It goes far.
Okay.
Maybe you know what? It's age.
No.
Nope.
We're gonna hit it though, Ebro. We got time. Even if they cut the cameras off, we're gonna figure this out.
Look at this. They see I'm figuring it out. It's not age. It's a culture clash is what it is. You had a Canadian actor thinking he's gonna go at a black American real nigga. You've now entered into our cultural territory at that point. See, that pop mainstream shit that Ebro pushes ain't real hip hop because it's not it's not connected to nothing. Drake ain't connected to something, anything. When he decided to go at Kendrick, when Drake decided to go at Kendrick, he went at the connection to the streets. He went at the connection to the culture. And one thing about our culture, what did I tell y'all? What did I say a year ago? 4 years ago now when I first started talking about the music stuff a lot online? I said, look, black people, it's time that these people who want to play in our culture get a full baptism in it. Chat room, press the number 1 if you remember me saying that. Press the number 1 if you remember me saying that. These people who like to make it convenient in our culture, they want to do a couple songs and go back to theirs. They want to comment on our culture, then go back to theirs. They want to siphon the greatest parts of our culture, then go back to theirs. Like my man Boogie B used to say, rest in peace. Let me stress you out. Rest in peace, Boogie B out of New Orleans. That was my guy. But y'all remember the videos Boogie B used to have on Instagram back in the day? When let me stress you out. He do this. That was my guy. Yeah, Aries, y'all remember when I was saying that years ago. Chuby, yeah. Okay, y'all in the culture. Cool. We can't necessarily kick you out. All right, cool. But, hey, what's one of the... What? I'm back and bang, you stupid. What's one of the things that we say that all of us that be cracking jokes, and this something Larry in the chat, Larry's real good at this in person. Nigga, if you grin, you in. That's another part of our culture. You grin, you in. We got some nigga shit going on over here. You can keep walking, we'll leave you alone. But you stop it, come over in it, and somebody get somebody with a good joke and you grin. Oh, nigga, you in this. Let's go down from your head to your shoes. And let's talk about your mama while we at it. That's another thing about our culture. You agree, you in. So what we're getting is a culture clash. You got these two people who are not from our culture trying to figure out what Kendrick did. Watch this part again. Watch this part again.
The URLs and all that type of shit, and you're like, whoa. It goes far.
Okay.
Maybe you know what? It's age.
No.
No.
We're gonna hit it though, Ebro. We got time. Even if they cut the cameras off, we're gonna figure this out.
This motherfucker is pondering. This motherfucker hits you with the, are you pondering what I'm pondering? Get this pinky in the brain, mind having ass nigga out of here. No, I don't know what it is. It's culture, nigga. It ain't age. Y'all ain't from the culture. Y'all not like us. It's the reason why Kendrick wrote "They Not Like Us." Nigga, y'all two is the they. Y'all are the they.
Huh.
Because they are in positions where they are both
the biggest.
They are both really big, yeah. Have major deals, major cahoots with major companies, right? Talking to each other like this is looking crazy.
Let me tell you something, UK guy. When it comes to the culture, those of us that are truly tied to it, there comes a point to where all that other bullshit don't matter. It don't. When we get into our bag musically, culturally, the rest of that shit is out the door. Again, hip-hop was created as a revolutionary art form. At hip-hop's core, it rebels against the system and it doesn't give a fuck about what the system thinks. That's a core component to hip-hop. That's an element, if you want to say anything else. Not giving a fuck and being revolutionary to the system, that's much more of an element of hip-hop than b-boying. All right? Breakdancing. Breakdancing is the dance that niggas did for a couple years. The revolutionary aspect of hip-hop was ingrained from the beginning, and it still is there now in 2024 as evidenced by what's going on, what Kendrick said on the mic. The revolutionary aspect of hip-hop. Very, very, very important. So the fact that this guy's talking about money and Pepsi sponsorships shows you that he is not connected to the culture. He's talking business. Business and the culture do not go hand in hand, nigga. Let's keep going.
Like
that's a good point.
You're calling him a word, but this guy's signed to thing. So now how can they sign a man that is being accused of this thing?
How can they sign a man that's been accused of this thing? Maybe because the person that signed him, Lucian Grange, is accused of the same thing? Possibly, allegedly. Remember, Lucian Grange was implicated with Puffy back this past February in the whole Diddy thing. Somehow he got his name removed in May. What the fuck do you mean? Hollywood and music is full of pedophiles. Does this motherfucker not pay attention? Who is this nigga? What? Elvis was signed And he married a chick that was 14 when he met her. The fuck is you talking about? The industry, you throw a rock, all you gotta do is close your eyes and throw a rock, and you gonna hit a motherfucker in the industry that's probably got some sexual deviancy tied to his record. You can put a blindfold on, spin a nigga around 7 times, put him in a room full of music industry executives, put a blindfold, spin him around, tell him, just throw the rock as far as you can throw it. And what it's gonna do, boop, it's gonna hit somebody that probably done did some nefarious sexual shit. That's how corrupt the goddamn music industry is. The fuck is this nigga talking about? See, this is why we don't listen to UK music. You niggas ain't observant. That's why that bullshit rap y'all got stays the fuck over there. All right? We got enough powder puff artists. Drake is bad enough. God damn. What the fuck is this nigga? What the fuck world is he living in? Chat room, am I missing something? Am I missing something? Accolade said, why is I speaking on this? Because he's being interviewed by a tether. This is a tether on tether. They should call this shit Tether Talks. Every interview Ebro do should be called, instead of TED Talks, Tether Talks. And if you say it, give me the goddamn credit. This is Tether Talks. That's why he has a voice. Tethers want to listen to Tethers talk. Let's go back into to this bullshit.
So now the things that when I was clashing in grime, we never had nothing to lose. There you go. This is where I'm landing now. So when we're saying things to each other, you could call me anything in the world. I'm not gonna lose a Nike deal.
Right.
I'm not gonna not be able to put food in my. That'd probably even get me more money because we'll go to the show and do the clash on the stage, and more people are paying and rare. You know what I'm saying? So
the version they was doing was hurting.
It's hurting what we've. It's hurting what we've built. It's hurting.
You didn't build anything, UK boy. Kendrick's brand's not hurt. Kendrick is about to perform at the Super Bowl. What the fuck did he hurt when it came to his brand? Kendrick ain't lost not one sponsorship. He got the hottest album on the planet right now, hottest song on the planet right now. A diss song that turned into some nigga. They were playing Not Like Us on the organ at the Dodger game in the World Series, nigga. Like, I'm watching the Dodgers up there, nigga. That Japanese motherfucker getting ready to swing. We over here beating the Yankees' ass, and the person on the organ at the Dodger game is do 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 do. Coming to the mound next from the LA Dodgers, Mookie Betts. Do 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 do. The fuck is this dude talking about? Yeah, bro, I had a whole concert on Amazon Prime that we stayed home on Juneteenth to watch. The fuck is this dude talking about? And I really want to know what he's talking about when he say we. I'm telling you right now, UK man, I had never heard of you. If your career never, ever happened, hip-hop is still exactly in the place it is right now. So all this what we built, you can get that shit out of here.
And what we've all built this whole time, like you two, man. If you don't like each other, just link up and speak and just talk to each other, or don't speak to each other. But all this stuff you're saying to each other, for the rest of everyone else who is waiting in line for the doors that you've kicked open. These doors are shutting on us right now.
Well, you tell them, well, make your own fucking line then. Why are you waiting in line? Go kick on your own goddamn doors. Well, you're here waiting in line. That's the problem with hip-hop. There's too many niggas waiting in line. Go open your own fucking door, nigga. Go back to what he said.
Man, if you don't like each other...
If you don't like each other, go. No, that's what the mic is for. Battle culture is ingrained in Black American music. In the dance culture, in blues, in bluegrass, nigga, in folk, pop, bebop, hip hop. Battle culture is ingrained in all gospel, especially gospel. It's part of the music. It's always going to exist. This is our music, not yours. You don't get to tell Black people in America what should go in what we created for you. Hip hop was born out of battle culture, just like bebop was. You had to battle to see who won. In art, in Black America, we got a thing where you got to be great if you're gonna come out from us. The people that was sent Dizzy Gillespie to the top was when he came to town on that trumpet with that bebop. He came in, he dusted niggas with that trumpet. Charlie Parker on the sax, he was dusting niggas. Max Roach on the drums, do 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 do. They was dusting niggas. Chick Webb, Count Basie, Duke, Ellington, when they came to your town, they was dusting niggas. And when they weren't on their show, when people who were in these big bands, one thing that got them jobs in those big bands was when Jimmy Lunsford or Duke Ellington or one of them was on an off night walking into a bar and they heard somebody back there shredding on the drums, dusting another nigga he in competition with, or shredding on the piano, shredding on a horn. The competition, those battles in those juke joints in the blues back in the 30s and the 40s that created Muddy Waters, Little Walter, Chuck Berry, all of these legends in our music, they all had to survive battles in juke joints, night in and night out. It was a nigga coming in with a guitar ready to take your lunch. And out of that battle culture rose the top, the best of the best. And from the best of the best rising to the top, those are the ones as a culture we sent out into the world to make and entertain the rest of you monkey motherfuckers. The artists that you saw that we elevated from the streets, the reason why the streets elevate artists is because that artist proves something to them through battles. So what you get, Ebro, wherever you come from, and what you get, UK man, is the end product of a refinement system that happened within the culture of our community. When it comes to what an artist is, your best Black rappers and musicians, these are people that went through countless battles at church. And at church is probably where it's the nastiest. They probably say some of the nastiest shit too, by the way. It comes from clowning at the lunch tables, rapping over a beat. Y'all remember that? Remember that? We used to be bouncing with the tables with your knuckles in the pen. Give me a beat. Somebody rapping. It's years of that it took for Kendrick to be able to record a classic like Section 80, To Pimp a Butterfly, Good Kid, Mad City, Damn, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. That comes out of years of Black American battle culture. And one thing about us when we battle, we go all the way. But you know, a beautiful thing about Black culture? It's not a whole ass culture. We ain't got a whole ass culture. If you a whole ass nigga in the battles in Black American culture, you cast off to the side. We ain't gonna do nothing to you. But it's known, oh, that nigga got dusted and he didn't know how to take it. Leave that nigga alone. You can't be a hoe in our culture. And battles is what determines the difference between a hoe and who can go. That comes out of the battle culture within our community. Cracking jokes. You crack jokes on somebody, if they break down and start crying, oh yeah, this nigga ain't ready. Our culture says some of the meanest, illest, evil shit it can say to one another. And let me tell you why our culture does that. Like my grandmama told me, when my grandfather used to call me the little fat bastard when I was 2. I remember being 5 years old, running to my grandmama, crying, "My grandmommy, why does Poppy call me the fat bastard? You little fat motherfucker, go turn the goddamn TV remote, you little fat motherfucker. Go get me some a can of beer out of my refrigerator, you little fat motherfucker. Hey, you little fat motherfucker, give me that my lighter for my cigarette. Hey, you little fat motherfucker." That was by the time I was 6, I thought my name was little fat motherfucker. And I remember crying to my grandmama, asking me, why do granddaddy say that? And you know what my grandmama said? She said, we toughen you up at home. So when you go out into that mean, evil world where we don't have any control over what happens, you've been toughened up and you could take anything that's said out there in that evil world and you won't take it personal and you'll still be able to function. Your granddaddy loves you, but your granddaddy was raised in Grace, Mississippi, that a lot of things went on that we as a people couldn't control. And even now, if we go outside and that police officer calls you something, you can't just react because we behind enemy lines. When you out there at work and the boss says something disrespectful, you can't just punch him in the face. You got to learn how to act and react in hostile environments. So we learn that and we teach that in the home. So when you go out in the world, you can handle it. And those of you who are not from our culture, you might say, oh, that's mean. Your grandfather was mean. That's a form of abuse. He shouldn't have said that. All right, you may have a point. Fact is, the world don't give a fuck. And when it comes to us black people, especially us black men, nobody is here to save us. The only thing that's there for black men, if they don't do and walk, if we don't walk in perfect alignment, the only resource available to us is prison. So if you don't want to go to prison over reacting and doing something real stupid, if you want to maintain some kind of employment and bring family in, you're going to have to learn real young that people are going to say whatever it is about you and they going to be mean. But you got to know how to take it and react and not react. At the same time, you can't take it personal because that person is talking out of anger and their own issues. It has nothing to do with who you really are. You have to know who you are before you go outside in that fucking world. And I'm so glad my grandmama and my grandfather taught me that lesson. So glad. Because there's nothing somebody can say can do anything to me. And as a people, we go back and forth and Joan play the dozens because we gonna laugh at our condition before it allows us to break us. We as a people, we can battle back and forth, and the true measurement we look at after the battle, whether it be joking or fighting, is can you shake hands and be cool after it's done? That's another cultural thing with us. You gotta be able to get up in the battle. If you get into a battle with somebody, when the battle's over with, win or lose, you shake hands and you move on. That's another thing with us. You can say all whatever you want to say. I'm still gonna have love for you. I'm still gonna respect you. But if you ain't from the culture, you don't understand that. You niggas take it personal. Y'all niggas is soft. Y'all people, and I ain't saying you soft overall, but compared to our culture and what we deal with within our culture and how we cope with our environment that we have no control of, the shit y'all people that aren't from our culture complain about is weak sauce. You niggas all look soft and weak as hell, crying over a nigga's words. Why is he doing that? Well, it's just a battle. Well, nigga, that's what we do. If you don't like it, then nigga don't battle. Go, nigga, go. It's other forms of music, Ebro. Ebro, you could be a country music DJ. You could be a house music DJ. It's millions of forms of music that black people created. You chose hip hop. Well, nigga, you green you in. We don't play that shit. We have a very, 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 very deep, nuanced, and loving culture. But it's a loving culture that's built out of battles. Why is it built out of battles? Because your whole life as a black person, you fight. You fight and fight and fight. So we fight and fight and fight. So when we go out there, we ready. And out of that condition, you motherfuckers that ain't from the culture full time, you're only so blessed to get what we give you out of that condition in great music, great comedy, great TV, great basketball, great entertainment. You should be so lucky. And a whole career. Because if we as a culture didn't have these elements that create what we do that's beautiful, Ebro, you be DJing an ice cream truck right now. Because I seriously doubt the white folks at the soft rock radio station would hire you. The Latinos at the station will not hire you. The jazz station definitely ain't hiring you. You got one lane that accepts you, and that's hip hop. So how dare you question what goes on in hip hop? Motherfucker, make your bread, do your reporting, and stop all the bullshit. Is that part of our culture with the battling negative? Probably, yeah. But you need negative and positive charge to create a battery, right? Negative is just as good as positive. Negative don't mean bad, just like positive don't mean good. Both are necessary components to move life forward. negativity and positivity. That current between negative and positive is what pushes things forward. Anybody want to call in? 323-744-7425. Anybody disagree? I ain't gonna be here. Anybody disagree? You can call in. If you agree, you can call in. Yeah, our culture is way deeper than that. They have absolutely no clue how deep our culture is. Hell, I remember I didn't really have no clue how deep our culture was until I went to college and I took a cultural anthropology. I took cultural anthropology. I think it was cultural anthropology. I think it was a 300 level class in college. And we had a section on Black America. I was like, hold on. These white folks really do study us. How am I a nigga and I didn't even notice this shit and it happens every day in front of my face? We got words for it and all. That's a whole field of study, the Black American culture. You don't even know that. Like that's a whole section of anthropology. Black American culture. Do y'all know that? What's the name? Where you calling from?
My name is Born King, 1984, and I'm calling from Los Angeles, California. To speak on that, I totally agree with you, because me and my homeboys, we be having hour-long conversations about this, and I told the homies, once Kendrick Lamar won this battle, he fucked up a lot of money for a lot of rappers. He also fucked up a lot of money for rappers like Skepta, because a lot of them dudes, they was banking on those Drake stimulus packages to help them get in the game and get that money.
Drake stimulus package. I like that.
Exactly. Because, we used to call that hip-hop the Drake stimulus package. They was trying to say, you get you a feature from Drake, that'll help you skyrocket in the game. So they called it Drake stimulus package because Drake used to give out features. And to a degree, your career enhanced. So they was calling it the stimulus package. And that was a lot of rappers was mad about when they lost this battle, because they can't depend on the stimulus package, because after this battle, that package done worn off. So now they gotta rearrange their whole way of doing things and maneuver. That's gonna be too hard. That's why I say Kendrick Lamar, with this battle, he fucked up a lot of people's money.
That's a good point.
He fucked up a lot. That's why a lot of people was mad about that. And unfortunately, I don't want to hold you up, he also messed it up for the foreigners, because Drake was supposed to be a segue for the foreigners to be cosplayers of our culture and get paid off it without having some credibility in it, but having the background in it. So he was supposed to be a segue for those type of rappers as cosplayers. But once this battle took place and Kendrick Lamar smoked his ass, that basically killed off that whole segue of doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Now you can't be the fake rapper that just do good music and you get away with the bullshit like Drake did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you lost to a person that actually had the same popularity, but just a little bit more respect than you and a little bit more credibility being from this type of culture. And the fact that Drake took a loss to a person from the West Coast, Compton to be exact, when people was kind of talking down on our culture and talking down on our music, it really fucks their head up now. Because now it's like, they got to respect us. Because let's be real, if Drake would have won this battle, Skepta dumbass wouldn't be saying the same shit.
They would not be saying that.
He wouldn't be saying that. They'd be celebrating. They be saying Kendrick Lamar's, they be saying Drake is the greatest rapper of all time. They be saying, he killed the dude similar to how they did Meek Mills. Because when he beat Meek Mill's ass, they damn near threw Meek Mills through the ring. You had organizations shitting on Meek Mills that don't even listen to hip hop.
I remember that.
So that's what would have happened. But the fact that he lost to a person from the West Coast, and like Kate, I said, niggas don't like us. So the fact that you got to well-respected lyricists from the West Coast that smoke they stimulus package, that adds more insult to the injury. So that's why I say he also fucked it up for all the bullshit rappers that wanted to get in the game off making bullshit music. He messed it up for them. Because if you know, Atlantic Records just dropped like 50 artists already.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Just imagine the type of music they was gonna make. They was really banking on the bullshit to keep going. But after this battle happened, a lot of money got fucked up. So now they trying to coddle Drake, thinking he gonna come back, hoping that if he do come back, he can look out for him with them features. And that's why I say that's why Skepta is mad, because Drake was supposed to be his segue into the Black American culture.
That's a good point.
To someone be a gatekeeper. So yeah, I just wanted to say that, man. I'll let you get back to what you were saying, man.
That's a good point. Appreciate the call, man.
No problem.
Yeah, the Drake stimulus package. Kendrick blew that up when he said you go to Atlanta for culture. Like the trains that were built out of Atlanta by the black people. Using Atlanta as an ATM. Houston as an ATM. Yeah, man. Kendrick. This here, remember I told y'all this 8 of Hearts here, y'all. That's what this 8 of Hearts is about. Exposure. Speaking of exposing, in 2 hours, 2 hours and 2 hours and 45 minutes, I'll be live here back on Patreon doing my interview with Val Young. Val Young from Death Row Records, from Parliament Funkadelic, the Gap Band. We had a dope interview today. Not today. We had a dope interview a couple weeks ago that I'm going to premiere today. And I'm going to talk and give my live reaction to our interview. All right? That's going to be today on Patreon. So join the live. If you're not on the live interview tier of Patreon, upgrade to the live interview lounge. It's only $8.88. Or don't. On the $4.44 level, you will still get the interview as soon. Well, tomorrow, I should say. Not as soon. But tomorrow, you'll get the full interview on Patreon. If you're not on Patreon, you're not getting the full interview. Why? Because I'm playing some music with this shit. Now, I will put out clips on YouTube. I will. But the reason why this is on Patreon, because I don't care. Like, when we talk about some of the music, I got to play the music. And I hate coming over here on YouTube and them not letting me play the music. So to get the full experience, you're going to have to be on Patreon, all right? But yeah. We are here. Not Like Us is an FBA anthem. You damn right, Marlon J. Hell yeah. Boris Shock, you there? Hell yeah. We're going to be doing it. We have a very, 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 very strong culture. And I think we're starting to realize that now. And the more we talk about our culture amongst ourselves and really learn our culture, because at the end of the day, we know our culture. It's just that in school and everything, we've been taught so much to study everybody else, look at everybody else. We haven't spent much time looking at ourselves. And that's what I'm here to help you for. You white folks fucked up when y'all told us to go to college, all right? Y'all should have just had, if white society wasn't pushing college so much, I'm sure I would have been a bus driver. I'm sure of it. Or a truck driver, because I love driving I love driving. I would probably have gone straight to be a bus driver, a truck driver, or a train engineer, or some shit like that. But now, y'all told us to go to college. So, I went to college like you punk motherfuckers told me to do. And I studied communication, how to speak and confirm my point of view. And I studied cultural anthropology. And that's how to gather my point of view based off of evidence. And how to ask the right, because the answer lies within the question. You motherfuckers told me to go to college. So I learned in cultural anthropology how to look and study society. know which questions to ask, and know how to put the information together in a way that's acceptable for y'all little bullshit ass accreditation system. All right? Y'all fucked up. So now we about to use this experience to point out to the world how great we are. Because you told me to study this shit, white people, and I listened. All right? Somebody said, do I have a book? I've written 2 books. I've written books on, I have 2 ebooks. Tell It Like It Is, The Art of Loving Communication, and another book. They're on my websites. But I'm so glad I went. Somebody said, you lost me a UK rapper. They're trash. Hey, smoking that shit. I'm sorry. I had to tell you the truth. What you was gonna lie to you and tell you wasn't UK? Sorry about that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you. But yeah, nigga. This is on. I'm so glad we as a people are stepping up. You're right. They told us we don't have a culture. And then I went to college and found out they got a whole school, a whole set of classes on our culture. What? Imagine my face, truth bleed. I'm sitting there. I'm at Cal State Northridge. I'm in cultural anthropology 351. And they're like, okay, yeah, this next section of the class is gonna be on Black American culture. Man, we went in from talking about the cuisine, because in cultural anthropology, you gotta have at least 3 points of reference. I usually like going with 5 points of reference. So they were talking about Black American culture with using different points of reference. Food as one of the cultural points of reference, linguistics, how we have our own lingua franca within America, our own, and how actually, this was during the time Ebonics was brewed. They're talking about Ebonics a lot. In class, we were talking about like Ebonics is actually a more highly intelligent form of English, of communication. But cultural markers, food, linguistics, music, common points of interest, and modalities of operation. So we started going through these different modes, and like, God damn, not only do we have a very nuanced culture, these white folks in school is telling me that goddamn the Black American culture is more nuanced and more, what do you call that? More magnetic, more than white culture, and how it dominates white America culturally, and how white America adapts Black culture like in 20 years increments. Notice this. Things that are mainstream now was Black and cast off to the side 20 years ago, like hip hop. Hip hop was some off cast to the side shit. Give it about 20 years, sometimes 30. Whatever we doing, I remember when I was a kid, they would say, ain't is not a word. Do not use the word ain't. Nigga, now you see people on CNN using the word ain't. When I was a kid, it was say isn't, not ain't. That's how Black people talk. Only Black people say ain't. Nigga, now the president says ain't. Sneaker culture, the way fashion, putting on a baseball cap, sports attire, that's Black culture. We started that in the 80s. Wearing sports attire wasn't a thing before NWA Straight Outta Compton. Do y'all know that? When Straight Outta Compton dropped in 1988, the NFL did not have enough supply to keep up for the demand for Raiders jackets. Y'all know that? Better stop playing with us. We got a culture. And it's high time we point that shit out, spread it around the world with intent and control of our culture. All right? You're right, Lichelle. She said it, commented today. When we say it, it is. Go to my Patreon right now to be a part of today's interview with Val Young. And yeah, I appreciate y'all. Remember this. What's up, Chris? There are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. Hit the Cash App, $Dewan B1 on your way out. Y'all see it right there, $Dewan B1. Go subscribe to the Patreon and all that, all right? There are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. We out.